Hello everyone, welcome back to Code.js channel. In this video, we will just create a food recipe app using MERN stack, MongoDB, Express, React in Node.js. In this video, you will learn some of the important functionalities like to create a user and log into the system, and also create a recipe and save recipe just for the authenticated users, the user which is logged in just for that one, and also to display these records and the saved recipes. This is not a real life application but it will help you how to improve your coding, and you will learn about these important functionalities creating a website. So let's get started. Before starting, if you are new to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, and let's get started. And also don't mind the design. Okay, the design maybe don't looks like very well, but let's start. Okay, first of all, let's create a register a user, for example Arif, and the password is 12345, and press the submit button. So we came directly to the login page whenever we register successfully. So now let's log in, Arif, and the password is 12345, and let's log in. This is the login page. So we log into the system. See, this is the home page which has displayed, and also the logout button. So now let's, if you want to just create a recipe, so let's press the create, and we will create a recipe now. And ingredients, and also let's just insert the URL of an image. So let's copy the URL of this. Okay, copy this URL and paste it here. Press submit button. So recipe has created. Okay, so let's check it now. This is the first one, the second one, and this is the third one that we has created right now. Okay, so if you want to press on this title, so we will move to read about the ingredients and the description, whatever you have entered, so you will read about that. Okay, let's press this one. So we came to this page, and also let's come and press this one. So this is the image. Okay, if you want to save this, okay, to save this recipe, just press this save button, so it will be saved in saved recipes. So let's press this one. So this record has saved with us. Okay, this has changed and disabled the button. Now let's check the saved recipes. See, we have just this one recipe, okay, which we have which we saved right now. Let's go back, and let's now log out from the system. After logging out, so let's come and enter login as a second user. I have a user by name of Khalil, and let's enter the password of that 3455, and press login. So we came to this login page, the home page. These are 3 recipes with us. Let's check the saved recipes. I have already saved 2 recipes inside it. Okay, the first one, and this is the second one which I have saved. Let's go back to the home page. So these are the functionalities that we will perform. Okay, which user created this recipe, and also we can just fetch those saved recipes which are saved by this user, just which are related to this. We will all learn about these using MERN stack, MongoDB, React.js, Node.js, and Express.js. So let's get started. Before starting, if you are new to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. So this is the part 1. In part 1, we will just create our plugin in registration. We will just perform our authentication in this video. So let's first of all, before everything, we will just create our React and Node.js app. I will create a new folder for that. Come here to the React, and here Control Shift N, a new folder. The name of that would be recipe app. Press enter and open this recipe up now with Visual Studio Code. Open Visual Studio Code, and just come here to file and open folder. Come here to the React, and then move to the recipe app. Select folder. Now let's move to the terminal. In the terminal, first of all, we will just create our React app, our frontend app. So let's write npm to create our React app. For that, we will use wait.js, npm create wait, press enter. and assign the project name, that is recipe app, and the same thing. And now select the framework, we will use React.js, and select the variant, we will use JavaScript, just simple JavaScript. Okay, so the React app has created. Now let's move to this recipe app, cd recipe, and after moving to that, we will just write npm install. So it will install all the dependencies of React app. Let's wait for it. All dependencies has installed successfully. Now let's run npm run dev. It will run our React server and we will see our app. Let's press on this control and click on this link URL. It will move to, this is the default code that which is written in React app. Let's move back. Now in the React app we will install a few packages which is we will use in the future. So let's close it, and now we will just install npm install XCS, which is HTTP request and response library, and bootstrap. Bootstrap we will use for designing purpose. Bootstrap. Let's press enter. Yeah, these two packages has installed. Now we have created our React app successfully. Okay, and we have installed the packages. Now let's move to create our server side app, our Node app, and also for that we will install all those important packages. So first we will create here a folder, press this button and name it, for example, server. In the server we will now cd go back and cd move to the server. After moving to the server, in the server we will, let's write cls to clear the screen. In the server we will just type npm init-y. So it will initialize our Node.js app. So let's press enter. See, a package.json file has created inside this server. Now let's install all the packages that we want. So the first thing is npm I, it means install Express. Express is the framework of Node.js. After Express we will install Node.js. Node.js is used to refresh our server app automatically whenever we make changes in our server side app. And after that, cars, which are cross origin, it means to access our server side from other origins. And bcrypt, which is used to just hash our password for the password security, and JSON Web Token, which is used to generate token for us for authentication, for the security of authentication a user. And the last one is the cookie parser, to parse cookies, for the cookies. Okay, let's press enter. We will install these packages now. So these packages has installed successfully, and I think I have installed all the packages. No one remained from, yeah, these are the packages that we want to install. Now let's create another file inside this server where we want to write our server side code, like that is index.js. So this is our file where we will write our code. One thing else that I should show you, that is Node.js. I told you that it is used to refresh our code, server side code, whenever we make changes in our server side app. So it means let's to use that Node.js, we will come here and to this scripts area. In the scripts area, come here down and just write here Node.js start Node.js index.js. Okay, it will just automatically refresh this file every time we make changes in it. So it was all about the environment, setup of environment, creating React and our server side app. So now let's move to our front end. So just come here in the terminal, cd back, come here back and cd recipe up, and inside it I will write npm run view to run our React app. It is already running here, just refresh it. Okay, that has refreshed. So now for the MongoDB database, the database that we will use, which is MongoDB. For the MongoDB we have two methods, okay, to use MongoDB database. The first one is that you can use the online tool which we have provided, MongoDB Atlas. Okay, you can connect with this MongoDB Atlas. Okay, you can connect online, use this tool, you can use it for free also. But the second one is to use locally offline in your PC, that is MongoDB Compass, which is a GUI tool. You can use that MongoDB Compass. Okay, I have installed this and you can create connection with this very easily. Whenever you install it, just press connect, you will connect it with this. After connection, you can copy this connection string. Here they will provide you connection. Whenever you connect with that, they will provide you a connection string. Come here and just copy connection string and just use this connection string in your Node.js app, and you will easily connect with your MongoDB database. So this is the method of MongoDB database that we will use. Now let's remove all the default code of React.js. So now let's remove all this code and we will write our own code. So just come here to our recipe app and come here to the src, to the source code, and inside it remove all this code, css code, and after JSX come here and remove all this code. Just write here one element and also remove this and remove all these things, and to the after css Control A and remove all these things. So now we will just design our registration form. Let's start our coding. Let's create a new folder here by the name of components. And inside that, let's create registration.jsx or FCE. This is an extension which I have installed React functional component. It will automatically generate this code, and inside it let's import our bootstrap. Import bootstrap .css/bootstrap.css. Let's assign class name deflex, justify, content center. These are bootstrap classes. Align items center. Vertically and horizontally it will move the elements to center. Class name padding 3 and border. And here I will just start my forum now. Forum. Inside it we have an input field or label, which is for username. Input field for text. This is for username. Placeholder, enter user name. Control C and paste it here. Create a button that is for submit. So this is the design. Now let's import our registration form inside our app. registration form. Let's use it inside. Save it and let's run. It is already running, so let's Ctrl C and npm run do. It will run our React server. Let's move to this URL. So this is our form, and let's now add bootstrap classes to form and button also. Just come here to the button, class name button, button success, and just come here to our class name form, control, copy this and paste it here, and also assign vertical height under it to the first element. So let's fix it. Just add s here items, and let's add width here 25, and let's check it now. Yeah, it is our registration form. Don't mind the interface, user interface. Okay, we will just perform those functionalities. So now whenever we enter our username and password, we should save this record inside the database. So first of all, whenever we write something inside these input fields, we should store them somewhere. Okay, for that let's create an object const, or we can simply create name username, set username is equal to, I will use state hook for that, use state and empty string. Same to it we will have for the password, and also this is password. So when I am writing something inside this input field, so I should change the value of those variables on change, and we should call that. Okay, let's create, we will call set username method, and we will assign e.target.value, the value which we are writing in this input field that would be stored inside that input field variable. And also for the password, just call here set password. After storing the value, whenever we press the submit button, so we should call a function on submit, call handle submit. Now let's create that function const handle submit is equal to, and here first of all, this is the submit. We should create an event here and just call here prevent default submission, and here now we will just pass our data to the server side. So to post the data, we will use Axios for that. Import Axios from Axios, and here let's use Axios.post. We will post the data, and our URL would be something like this: http localhost, then the port number, the port number that we will install later in our server side app, so that would be 3001, and then we will pass our data to this. The route would be like auth/register. This would be our route, and here we will pass now our data. The data would be in an object like username, but as the names are the same, so we will just write once. Okay, username and password. After writing this dot, we will use now promise.bin, and we will get a result. We can print the result, console.log result. And after successfully registering, so we will move to the back to the login page. So for that we need to use the React outer DOM. So right now it is okay enough. We will use the React outer DOM later. .catch if there was an error, console.log error. Save it. Now let's create this URL, this route. Okay, let's move to our server side app, to the index.js, and we need to create another folder inside this server. Let's do it like this. Inside this server side we will create routes and create a folder and a file inside this auth.js. These are for auth routes. Inside this auth we will write the routes for authentication. Now let's move back to our index.js and just const express is equal to require express. Let's import the express and const we don't need mongoose here. Cars is equal to require cars. Yeah, import mongoose also for the connection. Const mongoose is equal to require mongoose. After that, let's create now an app is equal to express, call express method. Now let's use app.use cars and also app.use express to set express.json. This means that whenever we pass data, that should be converted to the JSON format from our front end. Now let's run our server app.listen. And here we should assign a port number 3001, and let's create a function console.log server started. So now let's create our routes for authentication for the registration. So for that, come here to the auth. Now let's import first of all express. Const express is equal to require express. And now let's create our router. Const router is equal to express dot router, and also let's export router as user router. Here we will just write router dot post. Whenever we pass data, that is register. This is our URL, and then we will get a request and response, and here we will implement our registration functionality. And now let's move back to our index.js, and we will import now this router. Const user router is equal to require route slash auth. And now we will use this user router. So app.use user that is slash auth and user router. So what we have implemented, whenever we commit to the registration, we will move to this. Okay, this is our local host and this is the auth and register. We will move to this URL. So let's now to index this. First of all, we will commit to the auth, then we will move in auth to the register. After moving here, so now we will register our records. So before registering a record in MongoDB database, we need to create a model. Okay, for every collection or table that we want to create, we need to have the a model for that. Now we will create a model. Let's close this, and in this server app I will create models. And inside that let's create a user, that is user.js. So here first of all let's import mongos is equal to require mongos, and after that let's create const user model is equal to new mongos.schema, mongos.schema, and inside the schema we will define our fields. Which fields we have? The first field is username, and this is, and the type of this is type string, and required true, unique true, and the second field is password, which the type is string and required true. These are two fields, so now let's import them. Export dot module user model, sorry, this is a user schema, is equal to mongos dot a model dot model, and here we have two parameters. The first one is the name of the collection or table inside the database, that is users, and the second one is the schema, user schema, and this is module.exports, or we can just define it like this: const user model, and here we will write user model. Is equal to. So this is our model that we have created. So now we will come here back to authentication, and here we will register our record. Before registering, let's import our model. Const user model is equal to require slash we should import that from models dot slash required dot slash where I have created the models. It is okay. Models slash user. So now first of all we will destruct const user name and password is equal to request dot body. After distracting them, so now let's check if the user was existed, so then we will display a message. So for that we will use const user is equal to user model dot find by id, find one. Okay, username, if a record was existed, if user was existed, so then we will just display response return response.json message user existed. Else we will move now to insert a new record, and this is username. Const new user is equal to new user model, and we will just assign but before creating a new model, it means saving it in the database, we will generate hash password from this password. Okay, so to generate the hash password, for that we need to import bcrypt. Import our const bcrypt is equal to require bcrypt, and now let's use const hash password is equal to bcrypt dot hash. It will hash the password. We will assign our password first, and then salt. Salt is a unique these are unique character which will be added with our password, and it will be shifted converted to the hash. So now here we will write our username. Our username is username, and password is hash password. So now let's save new user dot save. After saving, return response.json message record saved. And now let's move to index.js. Let's create connection with the database. So to create connection, we will use mongos.connect, and here we will pass our URL. So let's come here to the MongoDB compass and just copy connection string, paste that here, just convert it to 127.0.0.1, and the database we will use, that is test database. Okay, that we will use, or we can name it recipe. Okay, recipe up. So it will create this database and also the collections, the tables that we have. So now let's implement it. What happened? Just come here and let's move to console. What the result that we get? Yusuf, and let's enter password 5 and press submit button. We paste with the connection post. Errors is not defined. Let's move to our registration, and here we have just error. Let's press submit button. Now we paste within error post registration.jsx.jsnet connected refuse. Let's check it. 3001. It is okay. Yeah, the error is that we didn't start our server side app. Okay, so for that, let's create a new terminal and cd server, write npm start. We paste with an error in our server side app index.js. Cannot find module mongos. Where is that? In index.js. JS. require Mongoose. We installed Mongoose or not, so let's check it in package.json. Yeah, we didn't install the MongoDB Mongoose, so let's install it first of all. npm install Mongoose. Yeah, the Mongoose has installed. Now let's npm start our server. Again crashed. Let's check it. It says that export router as the user router. What is the error? Let's check it. Export is not router as user router, so just come here to the path. So we have exported our router like this. Okay, module.exports is equal to router. Now let's, okay, the server has started. Now let's again move here and just press submit. What happened? See the data, it means that we successfully registered data. User existed, it means before when we submit, that has saved in our database. Let's refresh it. See, recipe app database has created and users has created, and we have I think a record here. Let's check it. We don't have any records here. Let's move back here and we will just find where is the error. Index.js x here. /auth, and then in auth move to the /register, and here there just user model.find1. Let's refresh our page and right here new record 2 3 4 5 and press submit button. So we got the data. Okay, user existed, but there is no record with us. Const user is equal to user model.find1 based on the username. Let's refresh our database. We don't have any records inside this. So we should use asynchronous. Okay, async, and we should assign await here. Await asynchronous. Okay, it means we should wait until this has performed. Yeah, the battery is low. Let's add it here also, and also here. Save it, and now let's check it. Okay, after adding asynchronous and await, it will solve the problem. Let's press this. Okay, and see record has saved, and just come here, refresh it. See, a new record has came here. Now if we would like to enter it again, let's press submit. We will face with that user existed. Okay, so it means that our registration has done successfully. Now we will move back to the our login. So now to move to the login page, first of all, whenever we register a record successfully, we should move to the login directly. Okay, and also we should have a button for login page. Here we should have a button for login page also. Just come here to the registration, and in the registration come here to the button. This is button success, and width should be 100, and also let's create another button for login. Okay, to move to the login. But this should be before this, let's first of all implement React router down. Okay, because if we want to move to from page to another page, so we will implement React router down for routing. Just come here to the app.js, and let's first of all import browser router and routes, also route from React router down. Now let's implement here browser router, and inside that we will have routes. Inside routes we have route, and in route let's make it like this. Here we have path. A path is /auth/register because this is for the register, and element is equal to with the registration. This is for our registration, and now we will just implement it for login also. To Shift Alt and press down arrow, it will create copy of that. And this is login. Sorry, Shift Alt, the language has changed, and login. And here we will implement now the login component. Let's first of all create login component. Inside the component, login.js React functional component export, and just come here to the app.js, and here we will import login. Yeah, that has imported. Now let's implement that here, login. We have login now. The route for login, come here to the registration, and down in the registration we will have a link. This is a React router DOM link. Yeah, React router DOM link. And here we should specify 2 is equal to, we should move to the auth/login. And here we will specify create a button. Inside button we will have login, class name, button default, width 100, margin top 2. Let's check it now how it looks like. I think yeah, we have imported link. The link is imported from React router down. But let's move to the login and to the app.js element, and let's check it. Where is the error? No routes matched location. Yeah, we don't have route for slash. Let's move to the /auth/register. We came to the register, and this is button with us for login. When you press this, we should move to the login. But let's I will add a class name border to this button. Border, okay. Let's add border. Yeah, the border has added to that. Whenever we press this login, we should move to the login component. See, this is the login component that we came. So now let's design our login component. So to design the login component, for that we need the same code as we did for the registration. Okay, the same code. I have implemented registration. I will copy the whole code from registration, and I will show you. Okay, don't worry, I will explain you. Paste it here. After pasting it, and just come here, we have username and password. Username, password. This is login with us, and here we should move to the registration. Instead of login, now we will move to the register. I think the route was register. Here register, and here register or sign up. Yeah, the whole code is the same because this is for the design. Okay, this is the design, and these are for whenever we write something, those will be stored and those variables and username and password. And this is for to submit. Whenever we submit, we should move to this route. Okay, now we will create another route instead of register, that is login. Now we will move to the login and we will pass username and password to that. Let's create this login. We will come to auth.js and here we will implement router.post. This is slash login. We have request and response. Create the function. Here let's destruct first of all const username and password is equal to request.body. So after destructuring, now let's find the user. Const user is equal to let's use async and await, asynchronous, and here we will use await keyword. Let's use user model dot find one username. If the user was not existed, so then return response.json message user not existed, wrong credentials. Okay, wrong credentials, it means wrong username or password. If the user was existed, so then we should compare the password. We should use bcrypt because we hashed our password. So for that, let's use const wallet password is equal to bcrypt await bcrypt dot compare, and here we will pass our password that we distracted in here user dot password. If not valid password, if the password was not correct, so then again we will just send this message. Else we will just generate a token. Const token is equal to, we will use JWT, okay, JSON Web Token for that. Let's import that. Const JWT is equal to require JSON Web Token to generate a token. Token is equal to JWT dot sign, and here first of all we will pass our payload. Payload would be like, we will pass ID. UID is equal to user dot ID. This is our ID that we stored in our payload, and after that we will just pass a secret key. This should be a secret key at least 32 characters. No one should know about this, but I will just write secret. Okay, this short word. After generating the token, now we will store it inside our cookies, okay, to then authenticate our user. Is it valid user or not user? So for the authentication, so I will store it inside the cookies. So to store the cookies from our server side and front end and our browser, so for that we need these things. Okay, let's first of all we will import cookie parser. Const cookie parser is equal to require cookie parser. Now let's use it, or we can export it. Come here and export it here, and here we will use that app.use cookie parser. And here inside cars we will use now these things. First of all, origin. The origin is our front end URL that we will use. Okay, let's copy our front end URL. come here to our front end, just this URL, okay, the new URL, copy that and paste it here. Then the methods, which methods you want to use, we will use now get and post methods. And credentials true. So assign these inside cars. After doing all these things, one thing is that we should do, just come here to the we should move to the login, okay, login component in React. And here we will write Axios dot defaults dot with defaults, I think. Axios dot defaults. No, that is with defaults. Credentials. Defaults dot with credentials is equal to true. After doing these things, you will successfully store your cookies from server side on your browser. So just come here. After generating the token, now let's use response dot cookie, and here as we should assign a name, that is token, and here the value token that we have generated. So it was our cookies that we have stored. At the last, let's return a response.json, and we will return message successfully log in, and also we will return id, which is equal to user.id. We will return the id to the front end. So we did it, okay, I think it is okay, we implemented everything. We will try it now, okay, how it looks like. And just come here to the login. We have a problem in login. Come here to the login component. I think we didn't import it. We have imported Axios and also React. What else we didn't import? That is use state. Let's save it and check it now. We have error. What else we missed? Let's check it. Let's move to the browser and check it here. Uncontaminated link is not here. Let's import the link, which is from React Autodom. Link React Autodom. Save it, and yeah, we are at the login, but let's assign a name here on the form, on the top of form, h3 login. Control C it on the registration also. Register. Save it. See here on the login, register, back come here to the login. So now let's log in yourself one, and let's enter password 12345. Let's press login button. What happened? See what we got, this result. Successfully login, and also we return the ID. See, this is the data, ID, and successfully login to the system. So it was about registration and login that we have performed. If we enter wrong credentials like this, okay, let's try it again. What happened? Press login. See, we got this message and it says wrong credentials. Okay, so now whenever we successfully login and register, after registration we will come directly to the login, and after login we should move directly to the home page. So for that we need to use navigate hook. So let's import use navigate hook from React.dom, and let's create an instance of that. Const navigate is equal to use navigate, and after successfully register we will move to the navigate /auth/login. What is wrong with this? Navigate. We should just navigate /login /auth/login. Wrap it inside brackets. And also the same I will do for login. After login we should move to the home page directly. Whenever we log in successfully, paste it here and change this to curly brackets. We should move to home page. Okay, directly to the home page. Let's create a route for our home page. Click that on the top. And let's create a component home.jsx, and here are FCE React functional component. Let's import it. Home component, and just come here and use home. Let's try it now. And let's close this and let's refresh our page and move to the register. Let's register a new record 5 and submit. See, we came directly to the login, but after login array 5 and press login button. Let's check what is the problem. Login reference navigate is not defined. Okay, sorry, we should come here to the navigate and import navigate. Just use navigate, and also here const navigate is equal to use navigate. Let's log in. Read 5, press login. See, we came to the home component. So it was all about our authentication. And also let's check our cookies. The cookies are stored or not. Come here to the application and to the local storage. Just come here to the cookies. See, we have this cookie. Okay, the token has stored successfully. So it was all about our registration and login and our authentication that we have performed. In the next video, we will just move to create a recipe and save recipes, and just for authenticated user, the one who is authenticated. So we will do all these functionalities in the next video. So I hope you watch and move to the next video also.